Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's me, Jenny McKay, and today we're gonna be talking about the mysterious and weird relationship of Melissa and Teresa. Okay, let me tell you something. Yeah, Melissa's been getting on my last nerve the last couple of weeks. Like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Like, she's always annoyed me, but like, I don't know, like the past couple of weeks she's just been getting on my nerves more and more. It's like, girl, just calm down and relax. Now I'm gonna be talking a bit quiet because it is the night time. I was procrastinating doing this video because I was on Instagram. I know, judge me, but you know what happens. Like, you're scrolling through the feed and then all of a sudden 2 hours passed. So yeah, as I just watched the first episode of the New Jersey Housewives, right? But I was kind of dreading watching it because it's my own fault. Like, I watch little clips on Instagram because I follow like housewife dedicated pages like RHOJ Obsessed or the Bravo Shade Room, like stuff like that. I follow those on Instagram, so like I see little clips and I always end up regretting it later because like I already see the main important parts that I want to see. So when I'm watching, I'm like, oh, I already seen this. So I gotta stop spoiling it for myself. But it's really hard when you're really excited for next week's episode. But I'm gonna try and do better in the future. Let me tell you something. I mentioned it when I was doing Real Housewives of Dubai reunion look about how I came to love Housewives and how I came to branch out of just watching Atlanta and trying other shows. I saw Melissa on Ultimate Girls Trip. I only watched it because of Kenya and Cynthia. So I saw Melissa there and I was like, who's this pretty girl? Like, she's so pretty. And then I saw Teresa when she was talking about her friendship with Jacqueline. It made me intrigued to go watch, New Jersey. I'm like, okay, let's see what it is. Melissa in Ultimate Girls Trip, she looked very pretty, but now, girl, the surgery needs to stop. The fillers, the Botox, it's giving Skeletor. Like, she needs to stop. She's overdoing it. Like, I just don't understand. Like, I'm not trying to drag her or anything, but it's just like, girl, she should have stopped back when Ultimate Girls Trip, okay? Like, she looked fine there. Apparently she got like this part removed or something. So you know that trend where like most like models have it where they're just like, this part is kind of like hollow, it gives you like a cinched look. I think I heard somewhere that she got that done as well, because I could really tell like this looks more hollow, the cheeks look bigger and bigger. Like, she's looking like Lisa from Miami season 4. Like, even Lisa admitted she got too much filler. So Melissa needs to pipe down the filler. It's doing a bit too much. Here's my issue with Melissa. Teresa and Joe, they're their only siblings. Joe is Teresa's only brother. Teresa is Joe's only sister. So it's like, instead of trying to divide the family, try and bring it together. Like, I know you guys have gone through a lot of stuff, but you don't need to tell everything to your husband. And also, if your family means so much to you, more than fame in the show, then get off the show. Because technically Teresa was on there first in season 1. You guys came season 3. So if you really want to reconnect with your sister, take some time off the show, really build that connection. And when it gets strong, maybe then you can come back and, test it out. But it's like, they want the fame and the money so much that they're willing to just, overstep their family. It's like, it's even the way they came on the show was kind of like, oh my God, like, Melissa, just admit, you saw Teresa on the show, your sister-in-law, and you were jealous because you were just a boring housewife. No offense and no need to roast, but I'm just saying, like, she was bored. Like, she was taking care of the kids. And I'm not saying being a mom and a homemaker is boring, because even I want to do that. Like, I can't wait to have kids of my own, take care of the house, and also have a job. But I think because Melissa was married to Joe and Joe's very old-fashioned, she couldn't really get a job like that. So housewife was kind of her only next option, because like, you don't really have to work, you just talk about your life and hang out with friends, this and that. So she saw her sister-in-law on the show and she couldn't help herself. She wanted a piece of the pie. And every time the camera would take a shot of their face in the background, they'll look so sad and like depressed. It's like, girl, relax. Like, she's probably thinking, that could be me. Like, Melissa, just admit you went behind Teresa's back because Teresa wouldn't want you guys on the show, because they would put you guys against each other. Like, that's obvious. You see how the outcome is. Like, Teresa's not wrong for saying, oh, I didn't want my family on, because obviously they want that family friction for the storyline. They want that family dysfunction for the storylines. You know what I mean? So it's like, she didn't want that. She was already fighting with Danielle. Like, she did not want that. She was fighting with Caroline, and I think she was starting to like break up with Jacqueline. So she did not want freaking Melissa and her brother on the show, and also her cousins. It's like, girl, like, Why is everyone trying to hijack what she has? Like, this is something Teresa, you know, got on herself. So it's like, why can't you just leave that for her and go find your other thing? The thing is, if she would just admit, like, yeah, I saw Teresa on the show, I was a little jealous, I wanted to join too, then done. But she keeps trying to act like, oh, they reached out to her, and why not? Why can't we be on it too? And, you know, she didn't include us in the filming. And, like, why do you have to dance around the issue and just be honest? Like, just be honest. You wanted the fame as well. I would respect her much more if she would have said that. But she doesn't. She does not. And that's where my issue stems from with Melissa. It's like, girl, she is so fake. Like, all her storylines. Let me tell you something about Melissa. Melissa, your storyline about having, ooh, a long lost sister, fake. The storyline about having, ooh, another baby, fake. Your oldest son is like 13, and you're talking about you want to have a new baby. Girl, bye. And your fake singing career, you had Joe build a whole studio underneath the house just so you can have 1 or 2 songs and have that storyline. The next season, girl, where was the storyline at? Where was the storyline at? It was nowhere. Like, you weren't serious about music. Like, girl, like, every single one of her storylines is fake. It's like, be authentic, be yourself. The only storyline that I thought was kind of real and like wasn't fake was the Envy thing, when she started creating her own like store. Like, she got Joe to build it, and then she wanted to be like a working mom. Like, okay, I was like, okay, that's a storyline. Finally, it's something real because she's still doing it. But the past storyline, girl, it was just one off. Girl, like, I was done at the sing career, but most definitely I was done when she was talking about having a baby again. I'm like, girl, bye, please don't make me laugh right here. Like, Melissa is so inauthentic. Like, Teresa, she gave birth on the show. She showed her daughter's luxurious lifestyle and her, you know, luxurious lifestyle. You know, she was real about her marriage. She was real about her legal case, and she went to jail on the show. Her husband went to jail, deportation, showing the struggles with her family, you know, finding new love after the fact, like going through a divorce before that. You know what I mean? Like, she has substance. Like, and some of these things are negative, but like, it's just a part of life. Like, it was just natural. Like, she didn't make anything up. It's just natural. You know what I mean? With Melissa, girl, she had to fester up some singing career, fester up a fake baby, and fester up a fake sister. She should encourage Joe to like want to be closer with Teresa. Like, I know you have your own set of problems with Teresa, but don't let that get to Joe's mind, because if Joe's already thinking, oh, I got problems with my sister and she has problems with my wife, then like, it's gonna like not make him want to get closer to his sister. If you were to keep your problem with Teresa separate and just kind of more encourage Joe to kind of fix his problems with his sister Teresa, then it will all be good. Like, Joe would be venting to her, and then she'll bounce her own problems with Teresa on top. So it's like they get themselves amped up and more riled up, like, oh yeah, she did this to you, yeah, she did this to me. It's like, girl, keep your problems separate, because this is only brother, only sister. Like, they're their only siblings. So you and Teresa will work it out eventually, but have that space between you and Teresa so you can work it out. But with Joe, try and talk to him about his problem with Teresa and see if there's a solution, because it's just like, I feel like she eggs it on even more. And I don't know, the way she talks to Teresa, it's like, girl, like, I don't know. If I was a sister-in-law, I wouldn't be so rude. I don't know, like, the way Melissa just talks, because she knows that Joe's gonna back her up. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, a husband should back up their wife, but it's like, that's your only sister, you know what I mean? So it's like, you're making him having to choose between his wife and his only sister. Like, so you're just talking reckless. Like, girl, if you all go back to the early seasons, see the things, and even now, the things she says to Teresa, it's like, girl, what are you doing? Like, how do you have the confidence to say that to your sister-in-law? Like, your sister-in-law who's older than your husband. It's like, girl, are you kidding me? Like, pipe down, daughter, pipe down. I think also the problem is, like, when she has a problem with Teresa, she talks to it with the other girls. And this is a big problem because season 3, when she came in, she teamed up with Jacqueline and Caroline to kind of pounce on Teresa. The only person that was kind of neutral was Kathy, and Kathy was still, like, you know, throwing little digs at Teresa. But like, Melissa needs like people around her, like an army, so they can gang up on Teresa. Like, the only reason in season 6 and 7 and 8 that she was close to Teresa, because Siggy had Dolores and Margaret was kind of new, and then season 6 they had like weird people. It was like the twins, so they were sticking together, and then her old friend that she kind of have like beef with for not knowing she had cancer. It's like she didn't really have like a group to cling to so they can pounce on top of Teresa. But when Margaret and Jackie came, she had her little trio, she had her little team. Margaret was friends with Teresa, but you know, they started having problems later, so her and Melissa could talk ish about Teresa together. And then Jackie, as soon as she came, she straight away went for Teresa. It's like, girl, like, and the thing is, she didn't even defend Teresa. Every time Jackie would bring up the gel thing, you didn't even defend Teresa by saying, oh, like, why do you keep bringing up the gel thing? Like, relax. Like, every time, that was Jackie's comeback. Oh, you went to jail. Your husband went to jail. It's like, girl, if you were a true, you know, ride or die sister-in-law, you will stop Jackie in her tracks. But it's like, she didn't even say anything. Like, every time someone would bring up the gel thing, Melissa doesn't even defend Teresa, and that's gotta hurt. Like, I don't think Teresa has mentioned it, but I would be pissed. I'm like, girl, you're just sitting there quiet talking about, ooh, loyalty and family. It's like, no wonder why Teresa is like feeling some type of way, because Melissa is not loyal like that. She's not. But she notices extra hard when Teresa isn't. It's like, girl, what about you? How is she gonna be loyal to you when you don't be loyal to her? Like, someone has to take the first step in the ride or die-ness. Somebody. And if I was Melissa, I would be the one to be checking my friend. You should have checked Jackie. Like, I would be the one to be checking my friend. Like, don't bring up the gel thing. Like, it's a traumatic experience for her, you know? Her husband got deported because of that. She was away from her kids and her mom passed away, like, when she got out. So it's like, people bring up the gel thing to diss her, and she's staying silent. Like, Melissa, you need to go back and watch the older season, because as you can see, you ganged up with everyone else to jump on top of Teresa. It's like, you never really had a sister unity. And as soon as they came in, first episode, Joe, you're already calling your sister garbage, and the next season you were calling her scum. It's like, is that how you talk to your sister? Like, Melissa, watch out. If your husband's talking to his only sister like that, baby girl, you're next. Like, are you okay with that? Just because you have your own problem with Teresa, you should check your husband. Like, that's wrong. No man should talk to a woman like that. I don't care how much beef you have. That's your only sister. Girl, it be the short guys that be having the most to say. Like, girl, is that how you talk to women? Like, Melissa, these are the little things that I know Teresa doesn't mess with. I just don't understand how you can stay silent in these moments. And, you know, with the other girls, you know, rally around them to like gang up on Teresa on the reunion. I'm telling you, that's why in season 8 and, you know, all those seasons where it was just the 5 of them, she clinged on to Teresa because she wanted to stay on the show, because Melissa doesn't have a storyline. And it's true, your only storyline is Teresa in your fight. Like, she's gonna make this whole season about Teresa and not texting. It's like, but season 3, straight out the gate, they came talking trash. Did the producers tell you to say that? It's like, don't you want to keep your family business private? Like, I get you're on a show, but like, the way they were just talking and calling each other names and giving all the details, it's like they're giving every single detail. It's like, girl, at least keep some to yourself. Like, I don't understand how you can go on TV and just bash your family and just because you're getting paid. Like, they will do anything to stay on the Real Housewives of New Jersey, honestly. Like, and I don't even think Joe even wanted to be on, but now that he's in and he's getting attention, he's like kind of loving the fame and getting sucked into it. He's trying to make a comedy career out of it. It's like, girl, what a one. Like, it probably helped his house flipping business, I guess, construction business, with the, you know, fame and publicity. So now it's getting to his head. But Melissa was the one that really wanted to be on the show because she was jealous of Teresa. Like, I'm sorry, she was. I'm sorry, Melissa, you were. Like, it's obvious, just admit that, but she won't. She's been called out by the producers, by Carlos King. Like, she's been called out. Like, honestly, everyone knows she lied, but she keeps going with the same story. And also, another problem is, don't let, like, Melissa, your family keeps making sly digs at Teresa and this and that. Like, keep your family out of it. Like, that's what is probably causing more rift. Like, keep your family out of it, because if Teresa sees those comments, she's gonna be like, oh, really? Like, you're not even telling your family to shut up? Like, why is your family also coming for me as well? You know what I mean? Like, all Teresa has is her daughters. Like, you expect her daughters to come after you? Like, but you have your mom, you have this, you have your sisters, all this, but Teresa only has her only brother and her daughters, and her brother is married to you. So it's like, if your family's coming for her, like, who's gonna defend her? It's like, I don't think it's fair in that sense. Honestly, it's not. But guys, let me take a minute here. Jacqueline and Teresa came back. Like, I love Jacqueline and Teresa's friendship. Like, I want to go back to watch early New Jersey just to see them be friends, because I love them together. When I saw that photo, girl, I knew. I just hope it lasts, because maybe like being on reality TV together isn't good for their friendship. So maybe if Jacqueline stays in Vegas and they see each other every now and again, it will be a good friendship. But I really want them to FaceTime together, or like do an Instagram live so we can see their friendship and see how they're talking, you know what I mean? Like, I would love to just see them together again. Like, girl, because when Teresa came back from prison, it was such an emotional roller coaster of her being cool with Jacqueline, then fighting, then being cool with it. Like, girl, please. I would always like, please don't fight this scene, please, please. But then they end up fighting, and then it just didn't work out. But I'm glad Jacqueline exposed Melissa. Like, listen, I don't hate Melissa. This is not a Melissa hate train, but I just want to call her out on her shit. Like, I just want Melissa to be real, you know? And just take advice, you know? Because this is a family you're breaking up. You're breaking up a brother and a sister. I know it can't be all on Melissa because Joe has a, you know, part to play in it as well because that's your sister, you know? I feel like Melissa's mouth is also a problem. And Margaret, let me tell you something. You went over to Teresa's house to make up with her and then you came running back to, you know, say exactly what Teresa said. Why would you tell her that Louis said that? Like, why? If you know they're trying to build a friendship. Like, I think Margaret just mistakes them as all friends and all like housewives of the show. Like, maybe like at some moment she forgets they're actually family and related, because it's like, why would you say that? They're just trying to build their friendship. They're not just like friends, they're like a family, you know? You can't, why would you say that Louis said that about Melissa? It's like, girl, what was the point? So you want to be good with Teresa, but it's obviously your loyalty lies with Joe and Melissa. It's like, girl, how can Teresa trust you if you're doing stuff like that, like telling every information? It's like, girl, mind your business. Don't get in between the family. Like, let them sort it out themselves, you know? Because I feel like multiple parties always get it twisted and always mumble it up, and that's what gets them in trouble. And also, Melissa, let me call you out on your bullshit. Let me tell you something. Melissa lies most of the time, but when I was watching the episode, and Margaret told her that, oh, like, Teresa brought up the fact she texted you, don't talk about my boyfriend, this and that, back me up. And Melissa was like, oh, so me telling everyone, hey guys, Teresa said don't talk about her boyfriend, does that make me insecure? Melissa, you lied. You didn't say it like that. Melissa, you said it like, oh, Teresa just texted me, don't talk about my boyfriend, blah, 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 blah. Like, she said it with an attitude. She said it like, oh, look, Teresa just texted. You know what I mean? She didn't say it the way she was reciting it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, she lied. I'm like, girl, you did not say it like that. Like, if you watched the clip, you were actually being rude about it and you were having attitude about it. Like, oh my god, Teresa, and like having like rolling your eyes about it. It's like when she's with the other castmates like Margaret and Jackie and all that, she like talks shit about Teresa because like she's got her clique, she's got her group. That's why she's so happy there's new girls now, because she can finally like get away from Teresa and have her own clique and doesn't have to depend on you know, just being fake cool with Teresa to stay on the show. She can just talk shit about Teresa and use her as a storyline to stay on the show. Like, it's like, girl, are you serious? Like, why would you even read that text out loud to everyone? Like, she sent it to you. And the fact that Joe didn't call you out on that, like, Joe, call her out on her BS. Like, in the moment, he probably didn't know that she lied, but like, when she was reading out the text messages, you should have told her, like, why'd you read it out? Like, she texted you. You know what I mean? Those type of little shady shit is what's causing problems. It's like Melissa keeps talking about it. And also Teresa, like, Teresa, I want you to stop talking about it, because if they keep talking about it, it's going to be a one-sided battle. And it's going to look like they're bothered and they're angry and they're always talking about Teresa. So Teresa, just enough. Like, as much as I love when she exposes them, I just want her to not talk about them anymore and just let them keep running their mouth. Like, they don't take accountability of the stuff they did to Teresa. Like, granted, Teresa does stuff to them as well, but even at BravoCon, when he was like, oh, my comedy career is gonna last longer than her marriage, like, are you serious? You know how long it took her to find love? And like, her husband got deported and she had to break up her marriage after all these years. They have 4 daughters together and she found love and she's like married to this guy, and you're already wishing them to break up just so you can tell a joke. It's like, no one even asked you. Like, stuff like that is going to tick her off. Like, don't you understand? Like, you guys are not in a good place. That's not funny. That's not funny to her. They do little sly shit like that, and then they wonder why Teresa is mad or Teresa reacts. It's like, she's probably one of those people like me, like, that observe stuff. They see everything you do, they hold it in, and then they explode. So you guys have to really understand that, because an explosion is coming, because you guys keep doing sly shit. If you actually cared about the family, you would put all this TV shit behind you. You should have even left it Teresa in the first place. Like, that's her show. Like, I don't want to say it's all Teresa's show, but I'm saying, like, she was on there before you. And if you see the show's causing you problems, take a leap, step out. Like, you know what I mean? She shouldn't have to be the one to step out of what she was on first. The show wouldn't last. You know, when she went to jail, the show stopped until she came back. And they know that. They know that Teresa is the HBIC. They know that. So that's why they're mad. They're mad and they're jealous that, girl, if Melissa went away, the show wouldn't stop. Please. For what? What are we missing? Like, girl, I just can't. And also with the birthday party thing, Melissa's leaking texts. Like, she wants to be in the good books of the public. It's like, I thought you cared about your family and fixing it. Like, why are you trying to be the right one? Why are you trying to show the sheets? It's like, all for what? All for what at the end of the day? Like, you're just adding fuel to the fire. Louis is literally begging them in the text, like, please come to the birthday party. This is like an olive branch, you know, da-da-da-da-da. And Melissa's being petty over it, saying, no, she didn't return my text messages. Oh, no, I haven't heard from her in 2 months. Like, this was a literal no camera, no Bravo event. It was just a bonding between, you know, her good friends and her family. Like, that's her only brother. And if Melissa's not gonna go, then Joe's not gonna go, because he has to defend his wife and take the wife's side. So it's like, Melissa, if you put your ego to the side and be like, you know what, Joe, that's your only sister. I want you to be there. Even though I don't want to go, I want you to be there and celebrate with her, because she's 50. Like, you know, I would go. Like, she should have told Joe that and just gone, just so that Joe and Teresa can see each other for her birthday. You know what I mean? Like, that is what a good wife does. That is what a good partner does. Like, for her saying, oh no, we've been over this, no. If Teresa didn't invite them, they would complain. The fact that Teresa invited them, they're complaining. It's like, girl, you damned if you don't, damned if you do. It's like, what do you want? What do you actually want? And saying she wasn't included in the wedding, they weren't close. The reason why Melissa included Teresa in her wedding, because they were close then. So you can't compare back then to now. Like, you just can't. Honestly, you just can't. And she thought about it. She's like, you know what? Okay, Melissa, you can be at my wedding. This is like a step forward. Let's, you know, make it right. And she rejected it. And now they're complaining that, oh, you never included my wife in the wedding. You can't say someone never did something if they asked eventually. You know what I mean? Like, okay, they didn't ask on your time, she didn't ask on your time, but she thought about it and she's like, you know what, okay, join in. And it was wrong of me not to include you in the wedding, but now I changed my mind. So the fact that she's done that, but they're still complaining, like, you never invited her. But she did, though. She did. Like, Dolores and Jen were happy to be in it, even after the fact. Like, you know what I mean? Like, don't take things too personal, especially if you want to build a lasting relationship. You just look at the petty stuff. You look at the petty stuff. It's like, girl, yeah, they're gonna be complaining this whole season. Joe is turning into Melissa. Like, they're perfect for each other. Like, in the beginning, I think Joe was angry and hurt about his relationship with his sister. But then over time, it just started, like, focusing on the petty stuff and being like Melissa. And they're like perfect for each other. Like, the way Melissa is influencing Joe, and I don't want to say influencing Joe, but I'm just saying, like, you know, your wife has influence on you, your husband has influence on you. Like, it's for the worse in this scenario, because it's like Melissa is just projecting her own feelings onto Joe. So it's like Joe has to back her up, but that's his sister. So it's like he's choosing his wife over his sister, and it's really sad. Like, he shouldn't have to choose between anyone in general. Like, if he doesn't back Melissa, Melissa's gonna start a whole drama and just be petty and all this stuff. So he kind of has to, because that's his wife and baby mama. But at the end of the day, he's risking his relationship with his sister just so he can support his wife, because his wife has an ego. Like, Melissa and Teresa both have ego. I don't know, I would never act like that, especially to my older sister-in-law who's older than my husband. It's like, all for what? All for what? So you can be the fan favorite? Like, people are seeing your true colors now. People are seeing Joe and Melissa's true colors. They're fame hungry. They want money. They just want to be in the spotlight. It's just like, I can't. Like, Melissa, please stop. Last season, I was fine watching her, but this season, I'm just like, girl, I can't. Like, every time she comes on, I want to forward it. Like, Melissa was literally having a family dinner celebrating her birthday, and they were, like, talking about her. Like, every scene you talk about her, You want her to look evil in the public eye. You want her to look like the worst person ever. Like, you keep talking about her negative, but yet you want to solve the family. Like, think about, how's she gonna feel when she sees this? You know? Like, certain things you guys have to really think about. This video was not to drag or not to be rude, but I just wanted to be real honest, because I was tired of Melissa's bullshit. Like, it's just like the fact that she blatantly lied and like she twists the story. I'm like, girl, you did not say it like that. Like, I had to do this video because I can't take Melissa anymore. If you can't tell, I'm team Teresa all the way. Like, honestly, Teresa's the one with no family backup. She has her 4 daughters and her husband now and like her husband's family, but it's like, I'm pretty sure they don't go on social media talking trash about Joe and Melissa. Like, I haven't seen it. Like, have you guys? Like, all I see is Melissa's family throwing digs and shade, and also Melissa. Like, every day Joe is posting a new quote. It's like, grow up already. And isn't it suspicious that every husband Teresa has, Joe fights with? Who's the problem here? It must be Joe, because her first husband didn't get along, and now Louis is like, girl, what next? I bet if Teresa would get remarried again, he would have a problem with the new husband. Joe, control your anger, control your temper, because it's like, it's not looking cute. It's not looking good for you, honestly. But yeah, like, Melissa, stop talking about Teresa in every interview. Like, just be like, oh, I don't want to talk about it. Like, be like Dina and Caroline. You never heard them talk about their drama out of their mouth. And even if they did, they don't go to specifics. They just leave it in a vague response. You know what I mean? But Melissa, girl, her recent interviews were talking about Teresa. Granted, Teresa was talking about Melissa. So I want them to stop talking about both of each other. I'm done. Like, Teresa, stop talking about Melissa and Joe. And Melissa, you do the same. Stop talking about Teresa. Because it's just like, how do you expect it to get better if you're always talking trash, trying to make yourself look better in front of the public eye? Or for what? These people don't care about you. They're just online. Like, they don't care. Like, family is forever. Like, you know what I'm trying to say? You guys will regret it. You guys are getting older. You're going to regret it soon. All these missed years of pettiness and drama. Like, trust me. The fact that they went over to Melissa's family's house and talk, oh, better than a wedding. Like, who would say that? Like, that is so rude. Like, are you kidding me? Like, she just found new love after separating from her husband, who she has 4 kids with. Like, better than a wedding? You're gonna regret not going to your sister's wedding, your only sister's wedding. Just know that. All because Melissa was mad. Melissa, I really hope you tried to encourage Joe to go to the wedding. I really hope you did, because if you didn't, shame on you. Honestly, shame on you. Because like, even if you're mad in the moment, you are going to regret it when you guys become cool again, which I doubt it'll happen, but like, trust me, you guys should have been thinking about the bigger picture and the future, but you didn't. Let me know down below what you think of this video, and what do you think of my observation on Melissa versus Teresa, the Gorga and Judice beef. What do you think about it? Give me a big fat like, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.